So whether Tylenol is linked to autism, it has caused controversy among medical professionals. And I'm joined by WWL Louisiana Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Corey Hébert to talk all about this. First, Dr. Hébert, are there any studies that suggest that Tylenol exposure is associated with autism?
Okay, so this is where it gets very, very tricky. The difference between correlation and causation. Okay, we have 46 studies that the White House looked back on. It's a retrospective analysis. And what did that show? It showed that there was a correlation between women taking Tylenol when they're pregnant and children having autism, but there was not a causation. There was no causal link. Now, we've had to go back and forth with this since COVID because people just really don't understand the difference. There is an increase in shark attacks at the same time of year that there is an increase in people buying ice cream. But those two things are correlative, but they don't cause each other. It caused them, right? So if you have a shark attacks, that's not making you have more ice cream consumption. They just correlate. But we also have a study, and we looked at 2.5 million women, and they had twin studies and sibling studies, and this was a controlled study. This means that we controlled for environmental factors. We controlled for genetics, all these things that we know that they do cause autism. And we looked at this, and there was no increase in these children when the woman took Tylenol for one child and didn't take Tylenol for another. So this is a very controversial thing. It's going to cause a lot of problems in how we treat patients.
Well, we're talking about the problems. What is the risk that a pregnant woman runs if she does get exposed to a fever or has a high fever during pregnancy and does not take any pain medication like Tylenol, which is the only thing that you can take at that time?
Right, and this is the thing that's very scary because right now women are scared because they don't know what to do. But if you are a woman and you're in your first trimester of your pregnancy and you have a high fever, if you don't take Tylenol, then there can be severe damage to that fetus in the first trimester. So that's why this is very controversial, because we know for a fact that if a woman has a high fever in the first trimester, that there can be serious damage to the fetus if that fever continues to go up and she does not take a medicine to decrease the fever.
Well, we know that right now they are having the FDA change the warning labels so that they can say that Tylenol has a connection or a link, a potential link to autism. Some people may see that and go, you know what, I don't want to take this anymore. Are there any other alternative medications or pain medications that are safe for pregnant women?
No, and that's the thing that makes this, once again, so controversial, because you think how many women have taken Tylenol throughout their pregnancy, throughout the whole world in the last 50 years? So many. So there is nothing else that is proven safe for women to take to decrease their fevers when they are pregnant. So at this point, you're going to have to speak to your doctor. You're going to have to talk to your OBGYN and make some decisions, because what the president's cabinet did say is that you should talk to your doctor and then make the decision. And that is fair, because your doctor can do whatever they want to make sure that you get the best care based on the data that exists. And that is where I think we have some leverage to do what we need to do.
Well, Dr. Hébert, also for just clarification as to how Tylenol is being administered to women, pregnant women, or even to children, how often should you take Tylenol, or how often do you suggest that pregnant women take Tylenol when experiencing pain?
Yeah, one thing that the president's office did say today is that we need to make sure that we take the lowest dose that works. And that's not something that's new. We always want to take the lowest dose that works. So please, you should take it every 4 hours if you have these types of symptoms, a child or an adult. Could it cause liver toxicity is one thing they mentioned. Yes, but only in very high doses, not if you take it the way it's supposed to be taken.
All right, Dr. Hébert, always appreciate your medical advice. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right.